Hey you guys, welcome back to another episode of Resilient with your host, me, WinterTooth100. And in today's episode, we have quite the special treat. Before we jump into that though, last episode we worked on the Temple of Time. We worked on a floor pattern, an interior facade, and an exterior facade, and it turned out pretty great. But you may have noticed the sky. Yes, let's get into those special little things. There's 3 particular things I want to do in this episode. We may only get to the first 2 of them, but there are 3 things. The first is we have a working version of the beta for the new Optifine, which means, wait for it, boom, we can zoom in again. How exciting is that? It also means we have fog. Oh yeah, that looks good. Talk about an incredibly overwhelming experience. This place was made for the Optifine. Oh, that looks so nice. I hope you guys are excited about this. Look at that. Look at that tree line. Oh man, I am so excited to have Optifine back. I hope you guys are excited too. But I want to, there's 3 things. The first one, we'll jump into it pretty quickly. The second thing I want to do in today's episode is get started and most likely finish the dungeon under the Temple of Time. And that means we're going to have to work out the pathways in here, create the little mausoleum, maybe? Little house, the temple's keeper's house, whatever it is that we're going to do. That creates the entrance to the dungeon, where we'll find the Master Sword, and also the lever to open up the gates to the city, so we can get out of here. Of course, we can get out of here right now, but for the player doing this as an adventure map. But before we do that, I want to prioritize doing a little time-lapse for you guys from this perspective, where we don't have the little hotbar down below. And I want to walk you guys through this world with Optifine and the shaders. Oh my goodness. It looks so good, guys. I hope you're excited for it, because we're about to roll that time lapse and it's going to be exciting. So here we go. I sure hope you guys enjoyed that little time lapse. It was a little different than what I'm used to. Normally I'll break out the camera bear and do some flying swooping motions so we don't get this wobble that we get from walking. But I don't know, I thought it was a great way to help showcase off, see the new sky, check out the shaders, see this world in the way that I'd like for it to always be seen, though I know not everyone's going to be able to run it at that level. In fact, even my computer was struggling quite a bit for that. Several of those short little bits I had to stand there and zoom in and wait for it to load in, and then zoom into the next section and wait for it to load in, and repeat all the way around just so I could get a brief shot of me walking forward. So, don't fret, even my computer struggles with it. But next we're setting up the ability to make a dungeon down here, and the first part in that is to get the little puzzle together so we can get access to the dungeon. And access to the dungeon is via the switches in these rooms. So I had to come up with a system here so we can essentially, we'll be coming down through here. So spoilers ahead, if you guys do not want to know how to solve these puzzles, I'll try my best to remember to tell you guys that I'm about to tell you how they're done. But here we go. We are going to show you the redstone, which would tell you how to do this puzzle starting now. Alright, so there's a button here on the bottom of this pillar. It's the only pillar amongst all of the pillars that has a button on the bottom. And I'm hoping that'll be a good enough hint for players to be like, well, that's weird that that's in there and it's nowhere else. So the idea is we're going to come down here, and there'll be a piston here. We'll put a... I don't have any sticks. Of course I don't have any sticks. I'm always so prepared when I do these, huh? So we're going to put a redstone torch down right next to it, and then a repeater for the signal. Once we have this in, then we'll be able to run the redstone line to the first door, essentially. And by doing it this way and putting a repeater in, we are essentially saying, we'll put a repeater right here as well. There's going to be a dirt block right here, so when you push this button, that completes the circuit and it can't be undone. This is one of the manual reset ones that I would have to do to allow multiple players to hear. There's a reason why this is a player for one, or map for one player and not multiple players, and it's because there are a lot of things that I'm going to have to write down to remind myself that they have to be reset manually per player. So this is one of them. This is one of the ones I'm going to have to write down in my notes. So again, a resettable switch. Then we'll take our redstone, and essentially we're just going to count out 14. I think we can go 15, but I don't want to push it. 14 spaces, then do another repeater. So just like that. And for testing purposes, we're going to break out this repeater, and we're just going to put in a torch. That way we can make sure that our signal is going all the way through. Now what we want to do, these doors have a inverter on them. So if we power this torch, that should turn off the other torch that's keeping that door closed, or turn on the torch that's keeping the door closed. So we just have to run a signal to it. Alright, just like that. Do we have any torches so we can see? So we have Optifine, so we don't actually have to place torches to see. Alright, so I had to turn that into an inverter. No problem, super easy. So I just moved it from there to the side of this block. So now if we break, well, it's can we see the door from here? Yes, you can see the door is open. So if we break the signal, it closes again. And since this is on a system that will be closed circuit, you can't undo this. It'll permanently complete the circuit, and that door will stay forever open until it gets reset manually. Now I'm going to do the same and link up all of the doors together. Okay, one last time. Now we have all of the circuits in place. We're going to show off how to do this. And so we're going to click this button, which will complete the circuit. And we'll go back inside, and we'll see that this door has just opened. And just for reference, because I know it didn't show off that first door, these other two doors are closed at the moment. So we're going to come in here, and I move the lever, and it's now right here. So this is toggleable. This can actually go back and forth, open, close, open, close. Now this door over here is open, and this one's still closed. And we have the same deal. Flip this switch, now that door is open. So that's basically how the circuit works. Then there's a switch in this room as well, and that will lead us to the door, or whatever we're going to use out here. Whatever redstone door we're going to use will open up the way to the dungeon in here. So let me design that. We'll show that off real quick, and then we will build the dungeon. Okay, I think I've got it all figured out. I had to do some decorating, so here we go. Yeah, it's changed quite a bit, hasn't it? It's looking quite nice. We ran the path through here, and I divided this up into a like a flower garden, and I thought maybe that our house that we added back here, that could be for, you know, the caretaker, or maybe it's not a house, maybe it's a shed. It actually seems more like a shed to me, actually. But that's where they keep all their tools, and that's where the caretaker of the temple also tends to his flower garden. So we got a bunch of different flowers all lined up and ready to go. These stupid flowers took forever to get, because there's a flower forest, but it means I had to teleport back. It was quite a pain. So we come through, you know, they're all divided. It looked really good. I actually really like this. Then we have this little shop back here. Not shop, the tool shed. The chest is empty. And you see we have tools on the wall. Look how cool that is. We got shears for the bushes. We have necks for the trees. We have shovels for the dirt. Oh, I really like it. And we did this with armor stands. We have the custom armor stands, so they're not affected by gravity. They are holding a tool and they're in the pointing position. They're all nudged over to be right up against this. Like you can see the pixels like laying right on top of them. It turned out really nice. I really like that. We have ladders along the walls to show where tools can be held. There is a missing ladder on purpose. There is a lack of symmetry. And so now we're going to go through, and I have all the doors still open. So we're going to flip the last switch, and it's in this room. So I'm going to flip the switch real quick. Alright, the switch has been flipped. Now we're going to run back. When you flip the switch, you don't hear anything. You don't see nothing. Like, there's no indication that that switch does anything. But you come back here, and what is this? Oh, it's opened up to reveal the entrance to where we're going to start the dungeon. So now all I have to do is dig out a big old hole and fill it with puzzles. So I'll be right back. It has actually been a couple of days, guys, since I recorded that first 13 minutes of this video. I've been busy working on this temple, and unless my brain is confused, which it could be, yep, that's new. I totally forgot about that. It happens so frequently since I've been working here that I've stopped noticing. There is a command block. I guess I'll talk about that real quick. There's a command block right under the ground there between the two cobble walls. So when you walk through there, it lets you know, hey, this is the Temple of Time. Oh yeah, you can expect that at every temple. With the name of it. That's why the names of the temples are so important. But we come down through here. So this is after we've solved all of the switches inside of the temple, that this path will be open. And we're going to have to go into spectator mode to see this place, because the only other way to see this place is by solving it in survival. Obviously there's a door missing here, and this door is still open because there's a switch flipped over there. So I still have to do the last little detail things to make sure the whole thing's reset and ready to go. But let's go to game mode, spectator, together. Now we're going to try to be very careful, and if there's cuts it's because I wasn't careful enough, but we're going to try to be so careful as to not see the redstone behind it. And that is for my viewers who are redstone inclined enough to glimpse a thing and then know how to solve the puzzle. So we're going to try to do our best. So this door you can just walk through. So when you first enter, both these doors have closed iron doors to them, and this is kind of what the room looks like. And so you can go through this, and so we see another locked door and some levers. There's no hint as to how to do this, but through there we'll get ourselves an item that I've named Key. And that's what these are in my inventory. Keys and key stoppers. For anyone who knows what you can do with hoppers here. But you throw the key in there, the door will open, and then you can work your way through here. And then we have ourselves a little parkour course. So this will probably be the most frustrating thing in this whole temple, because it basically requires you to parkour for each and every door, and you have to start over with the parkour for each door. There's 3 doors in here. There's also 3 treasures, so you can think of it as kind of a hint. But as soon as we get that, one of these doors in here has a switch in it, and you flip the switch, and you come back in here, and this door will be open just as it is, because I currently have the switch flipped, so I can have easy access. And we work our way through. We're still in the Temple of Time. How great is this? Like, this is all our Temple of Time. I tried to stay close to a specific theme, and that's andesite, smooth and polished andesite, and the forms of gray bricks and cobble. Tried to stick to this theme as best I could, but then we go through here, and through this door we have the Patreon Hall, is what I'm going to call it. It's the hall for my Patreons. It's also, well, I won't get into that, but it's a reward that you can get for being a Patreon on Patreon and get your name inside of this map forever. So we're gonna very gingerly just take a look at this room. This isn't the only room that did it, but this is the biggest reason why my shovel and pickaxe are so destroyed. We do have a kind of upside in that this is a custom map that we're in that's been placed into a survival world, a regular seed, and so there's this big layer of nothing but dirt, and then there's an even bigger layer of nothing but smooth stone. That's it. There's no ores in here, so mining it out was actually fairly fast. It just tore through the durability of my tools pretty quickly. And so this is where the patrons are going to go. Basically what's going to happen, let's say Fred becomes a patron. Well, Fred's going to get his name on here, either his name Fred or maybe he wants to do his Minecraft name. It's, you know, we accept one or the other. And then I'll ask Fred, what kind of armor does he like? And then we'll throw armor on this thing. It'll have his name. If he has a Minecraft character, we will get his head, his specific Minecraft skin's head, and we'll put it on this armor stand too. There are 88 slots here for people to receive that reward. That's it, just 88. So, you know, first come, first serve. You can either walk across this bridge or you can use the buttons. I tried my best, so when you hit this button, it will return the minecart from the other side so you don't have to walk. But it usually gets stuck halfway between here, and then you have to get in and push it, you know, wheel yourself this way, then hit the button. And we can actually demonstrate that. Let's try it. Game mode, survival. Let's see how far this comes back to us. And it's going to stop right on the end because, yep, they're all these rails, so you'd have to get into it and then come back this way. But ideally, you're solving this place. You're going to hop in here because it's already on the side. You hit the button. It takes you all the way to the other side. You get out. You finish the stuff over there. The only way back out is through this way, so you'll end up bringing the minecart back. So hopefully that's how it works out. But now we're going to go back into spectator mode. Game mode. Spectator, and we're going to try to be really careful with this next bit. This next bit doesn't have all of the doors in place yet, so it's still like a final touch I have to do. But now we have a maze made up of identical rooms with slight variations between some of them. So you come in, you solve this maze. I'm going to very briefly go up and out of it. And I say briefly because I don't want you guys to have too much time to accidentally see pathways. But we come through, and you can see it's a 3x3. Yeah, 3x3. And then we're going to look away real quick. We're going to go down. And it's a 3x3 on the bottom. And again, we're going to look away. Just kind of want you guys to get an idea for the scale. And we're not going to solve this puzzle together because that would defeat the purpose. But ultimately, your goal is to get this door open. Once this door is open, you're in this little hallway, and through this hallway you just walk through, and there's the Master Sword. And since we're in spectator mode, you can actually see the armor stand that I have positioned holding that thing. So when you actually come to grab the Master Sword, you have to actually aim a little to the right where the armor stand is and right click to get the sword. So you can't aim directly at the sword and get it. You see how my crosshairs only come into view when I'm hovering over the armor stand? That's because you have to be looking at the armor stand. The arm doesn't count as looking at it. You have to be looking at the armor stand to pick it up. But let's see, we got chest there, chest there. Let me do a quick count in my head. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 6 chests in this dungeon filled with goodies. So I just wanted to show off this place real quick. And if we come up through the ceiling, you'll see that we're still right under Kakariko Village. So the entire thing is spawn proof. It's looking really, really good. Really happy with it. Like I pointed out, there's a few things that still need to be added. They're just closing the doors and putting the last few doors in. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then I will see you guys in a moment. Alright, that's going to be it for today's episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed. What do you think about having another member of this server actually come in and do the puzzle? And then we, for our video, can be in spectator mode, and we can sit in his head and kind of commentate on what he's doing. And I'm thinking I like that idea, and I'm thinking we should have Joe be the one to come in and try to solve it. The only thing we're waiting on is for my code guy to send me over the actual stuff for the items. We do not have the Master Sword down there. That is just a prop sword. So if we don't want to wait, then we can turn that prop sword into a redeem me for the Master Sword later kind of thing. Just put, give it a really bizarre name. But we could have Joe do it, and I think that would sound like a really fun episode to do, and I'm really excited about that. So I hope you guys enjoyed. As I've been doing lately, the Patreon haul that you've seen down there, now you know where it is. So for those of you who stick to the end of the video, let me know that you've made it to the end of the video, and tell me what you like most about panda bears. That's how I'll know. Tell me what you like most about panda bears and what you think about it coming to the game, those cute little pandas. And I'll be sure to get you included on my list, so when we start naming those armor stands down there, we'll be able to get you included instead of having to join Patreon and pay for it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Leave a like if you liked, subscribe if you haven't, share with your friends, hit that notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next one.